So there's this new concept that I need to introduce you to called using, and we need to use using in order to get this to work. And what it is when you connect to an instrument, you need to say, okay, so there's lots of, so a sampler instrument, for example, this is like quite tricky to get my head around. So a sampler instrument, for example, you may have a recording playing from the sampler instrument, and in the recording, you're using the strip controller, using the breath controller, you've got the pitch bend going on, you've got all sorts of stuff going on. But you want to play over this recording, and you want to also use the strip controller, and you want to use the breath controller, but you don't want what you're playing over the recording to affect the recording. And so this is this kind of idea of using. So what happens is the recording may, for example, be using 1, and you're using 2, and sampler 1 says, okay, all the stuff that's using 1 gets put on one side and only is dealt with together, and everything that's using 2 is kind of dealt with separately as well. And it works the same with the key groups. So key group 1, you would connect, well, in this setup, I've connected to sampler 1 using 1. Key group 2 is using 2. Key group 3 is using 3. And what this means is that it's all entirely separate. If you play C on key group 1 and C on key group 2, they're basically separate things. They have their own independent pitch bend, yaw, and everything. So using is this kind of way of connecting lots of things to the same instrument, but they get treated separately. So you don't have like strip controller from a recording and strip controller from what you're playing live, fighting with each other or anything like that. And the way in the factory setup, the way that's all being connected up is key group 1 is connected using 1, 2 using 2, up to key group 11, because in the alpha setup anyway, this one, there were 11 key groups in total. So I just needed to quickly mention that because we're going to have to use using now. So let's connect key group 70, output 9, one of these new outputs, to sampler 1. So if I go back to the commander, I say K group 70, output 9, K group 70, output 9, to sampler 1 recorder. Okay, the reason why I'm connecting it to sampler 1 recorder is because within the sampler 1 rig is like a collection of agents that all work together to become sampler 1. The recorder is the first in the chain, and also the recorder is the thing that divides everything up using this using I was talking about. So the recorder is what we connect to. I did a little seminar about tweaking sampler instruments using Belcanto, and I think on the wiki there's a diagram of the inside of a sampler rig if you're interested, and it shows you like the chain of everything. It starts with the recorder and goes down. So anyway, so we're connecting to the recorder, K group 70, output 9, to sampler 1 recorder, and then I'm going to say using 12 because this is basically the 12th key group that we've created in the setup. So sampler 1 recorder using 12, and then connect. Press enter, and then down at the bottom here it says OK. So if all has gone to plan, I now choose. So I'm choosing my new split on key group output 18. So I hold down the main mode key, and then choose output 18. So this is kind of the invisible layer key group 99. Okay, then I've got my new mode key for key group 70, my new key group, and then output 9 and 10. If I choose output 9, hey, there you go. So I'm now connected to the piano. Which is sampler 1. And just quickly, let's connect output 10, last thing, to something. So I say K group 70, output 10 to, let's do an audio unit. So audio unit 1. So I say audio unit rig 1 recorder, again using 12, connect. So did you catch all that? So that was K group 70, output 10. So that's what I'm going from to, as in TO, and then audio unit rig 1 recorder. So I'm going for audio unit rig. That's a collection of agents that make up audio unit 1 instrument and the recorder. And then using 12, I just explained about the using thing. It's the 12th key group we've created, so it just happens that we're using 12. And then connect. Hit enter. Check down the bottom, and it says OK. And then if I hold down key 23, which is the mode key, and choose output 10, and There you go. So it's connected to audio unit 1. Okay, that's key groups. All right.
Magic happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so now so Dave, you done?
Yeah, that's done. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So Dave, can you use Belcanto to alter which instruments you have like to add more MIDI outs?
Yes, yeah, we can use Belcanto to do that. It's a bit more of a lengthy thing than I can do now. So the MIDI output contains a few things. First of all, every MIDI instrument we've got in the setup has a recorder. So it's kind of similar to the sampler and audio unit instrument. So you've got a recorder, and then that goes from there, goes to a scaler, which takes the information from the keys and applies a scale to that. So it will say note 1 is C, for example, note 2 is C sharp. And then from the scaler, that goes to the MIDI output. But I can make that one of my next seminars, if you like, because that's kind of, or next Belcanto ones anyway.
I've had quite a lot of people ask about adding MIDI outputs, additional MIDI outputs. So
yeah.
I think that would be a great thing to talk
cool.
about in another seminar. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that was all the questions from the seminar. So